It's always a treat to come to Garland Nursery, and I'm talking to Brenda today. And Brenda, you picked all of these summer blooming perennials and shrubs that are just gorgeous.
I love cottage garden plants, and you kind of get a feeling of that. And all of these are ones that I either have in my own yard or want to plant. I've been eyeing them to plant. And these are all sun plants. There's nothing that's a shade tolerant one here. Most of them are either lose their leaves in the wintertime or die back in the wintertime. I'll kind of try to point out the ones that are evergreen. They are all pretty well tough performers. A lot of them are drought tolerant once established. So nothing that's going to really take a wet situation. So much more of just a average type of situation for them. And I like to start with the butterfly bush. For several years the butterfly bush weren't available in the state because they were reseeding everywhere, but they've come out with some sterile varieties and fantastic looking. This one's called Miss Molly. There's another one called Miss Ruby. These are taller growing, not as big as the old Black Knights, but still a good sized. And then they also have shorter ones. This one is Blue Chip Junior. And it's a pretty short grower, and they bloom for quite a long period of time in the summertime. And butterflies love them, bees love them. Excellent, excellent plant. Then there's a couple other shrubs. The spireas are wonderful. If you deadhead them, they will bloom all summer as well. This one is one called Neon Flash. This one is one called Magic Carpet, which has that beautiful new growth that is different color than the rest of it, and if it's in a hot sun area, it does tend to have that more that overall cast of that tawny color. If it will grow in partial shade, and it will be more of that limey color in the shade. So it's a really tough plant. One of my new favorites, Erica, my sister, had it planted in the front of her yard. It's balloon flower, Platycodon, and just it's not a real long bloomer, but so unusual.
Look at those flowers. Isn't
that amazing? And they do look, they look like little, yep, they're so cool.
Cool.
One of my new favorites, I planted it in my garden a couple of years ago, is Knautia, Thunder and Lightning, with the variegated foliage and those stunning flowers, and it gets pretty decently sized. You just have to watch out. Might want to revert to green, so pull out any green growth to keep that variegation. And to mention that there is a non-variegated form of it too.
I'm hearing a lot of favorites. It's kind of funny. That's a recurring theme here.
Catmint. Nepeta is another wonderful early season bloomer, really tough, drought tolerant. This one is Walker's Low, and then they came out with a fairly new one called Cat's Pajamas, which is even shorter. Cute name too, all those little cat references.
Good bee plant. Really
and
great
excellent
for bees.
bee plant. Yeah, almost everything here.
Yeah,
the bees,
great for pollinators.
The bees really love.
Definitely.
Yep. Yarrows. Yarrows, and they're great for butterflies and bees as well. And there's a range of colors in the yarrows and different colored foliage. This one's Moonshine, has gray foliage and the yellow, bright yellow flowers. This one is called Song Siren Layla, and it's sort of a pink, which of course is my favorite. But they also come in like in a brick red and a terracotta color and all sorts of, and white too, all sorts of different colors. And you notice that this one is a green foliage versus the Moonshine that had the gray foliage.
And tough plants.
Okay, Agastache, which remind me of the common name of
Hyssop.
Hyssop, thank you. Is a great hummingbird plant. Hummingbirds love it. This one's Kudos Mandarin, again, and it's fragrant too.
And it's a great
really yummy,
rebloomer.
and it has that citrusy, if you touch the stems or the leaves, it has that citrusy fragrance to it. And the Agastaches come in several different colors as well, and just a great plant.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody knows probably Crocosmia Lucifer. I thought, should I pick this one? But really there's not a whole lot that's like it, that is that brilliant, orange color with the really weird, shaped flowers and the blade-like foliage, which is a nice contrast if you're working it into the landscape. So it's a corm like gladiolas and that type of thing, which the foliage looks like that a little bit.
Brenda, I see some carnations, which
Yes.
are just gorgeous.
Yes, the dianthus are one of my top 5 favorite plants of all time. They're fragrant, just delightful flowers. They kind of remind me of my mom's old perfume she had on her dresser for a while. This one is Georgia pie. Peach pie, Georgia peach pie, and this is Bumble Berry Pie.
Oh,
and if
sweet.
you keep deadheading them, they'll bloom all summer long, and wonderful gray foliage, real drought tolerant, very nice plant. Then the
Beautiful.
heathers
Look at
that are
those.
there. So there's heaths and heathers, Callunas, Ericas, won't get into that whole story. But
So pretty.
the one that's closest to Judy is C.D. Eason. It is an Erica, a summer flowering Erica cinerea, and the other one is a Calluna Allegro. And I found the Ericas for me have been a little bit tougher to get established. Once they're established, they do great. The Callunas were so much easier to get established, not quite as picky about the watering and the wetness and
Yeah,
stuff.
but a great small shrub.
Yep,
Wonderful.
and they are evergreen and they are deer resistant.
Oh,
too.
wonderful.
Uh-huh.
Two big things. And then look at these potentillas, a
Potentilla,
pink
yep.
potentilla.
Yep. Pink Beauty, and the other one behind it is Mango Tango. You know, we used to think of those maybe as a boring shrub that got planted way too much in commercial landscapes. But look at the color range. It's no longer just yellow, and they are a really tough shrub,
Very
drought
much.
tolerant and great.
And look at these blooms on this plant on the floor here.
So this is an Itea, Scentlandia, which is a newer variety, and the Iteas, I think, have an amazing flower this time
Look
of
at
year.
that, yeah.
They're even more noted for their fall foliage, which is just sensational red, wine red color. Just a
Pretty.
fantastic plant. One of our longtime employees, Karen, it's one of her favorite
Oh,
shrubs.
It's gorgeous.
And then finally, Parahebe. Again, my sister planted it, and it's really an amazing plant. It's a Zone 7 plant. It looks like it should be tropical,
Right.
but it's not, and it's just so different, and you hardly see it. It's kind of an unusual type of plant.
Very much.
Yeah, really interesting flowers and foliage. It almost looks like a eucalyptus.
It does, it does. Well, I'm hearing there's a competition for the family here and
Yes.
favorite plants, and it's like you have to come down here, meet the family. They're just the most wonderful people, and to see all the beautiful plants. They do have shade plants too, not just sun plants, and you can talk to the staff and just get some of these beauties for your summer garden. Thanks so much.
Thank you.